going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Check Swing Podcast with myself, and of course, the homie Coach Santa, who is down in
Baltimore, having good fun.
Baltimore, Maryland, having big fun. What's going on, Coach?
Yo! How the hell are you?
I'm all right. It's 9:00. We are live. It is Wednesday, October the 15th. I had to look at the date and all that. We are live. We got a few things we're going to talk to you about, and we're going to have a little bit of fun, of course. But of course, before we get started, make sure you share us with your friends and your friends and your family and all that, so we can all have a good time with what we got going on tonight. But before we get started, I like to ask my folks how they been. So, Miguel,
Sir.
how you been?
Tired and cranky. How about you?
Tired for sure. I'm always cranky, so I guess that's just natural, right? But yeah, it sounds about right. Sounds about right up my alley as well. And it's trash night, so I still got to put the trash out.
do you have trash night and then recycle night as well?
No.
Oh,
No.
so we
Just
have
had same night. It's the same night for us. Thank
so
you.
I'm in Baltimore City, so you have the big green trash can for the trash and the big blue can for
Recycle.
for recycle. So
You all right? You all right over there?
yeah.
All right.
I want to say what I'm really mad at, but I can't.
Okay. No worries. No worries. Before we get in the show, a few other particulars that we're going to get into tonight. Of course, you can hit us up. You can call us at 669-275-0548 if you have an opinion you want to give or anything like that. And of course, you can hit us on the text line at 484-606-6061. Hit us on our text line. Or, of course, you can always put your opinion, thought, question, whatever the case may be in the chat. We'll get that up for you, get an answer, get a reaction, whatever the case may be. But before we get into all the sports that we're going to get into, we're going to start off with a little bit of fun. So gather around, children, gather around. We're going to have a little bit of fun. Miguel has put together a cacophony of videos for us.
Cacophony?
A cacophony of videos. And I know the video you have there is not the video that you want played right now. Okay, so I see the other one that just came up. All right. I just wanted to make sure.
So this would qualify as what we call our segment, You Big Dummy.
All right, let's see what we got. Oh. Oh.
You know you're having a bad day.
You big dummy.
I got to give him a song. I got to give him a song for that one.
Big dummy, dummy, big dummy, big dummy, big dummy, dummy. You big dummy.
Now this one is a little bit of a I call it a heartbreaker because it's one of those it's one of those situations where if you just concentrate on what your job is, you'll be fine. But for a brief second you don't. So this is another big dummy.
All right, let's see what we got.
Zirkle winds, delivers, rips it into left field. Heidelberg wins a walk-off single. Megan Boehm, senior, wins it on senior day, and she's out.
She never
made it to first base.
You big dummy. You big dummy.
As a baseball coach, that just gets under my skin. It just gets under my skin as a baseball coach.
Yeah.
Big dummy.
Because that's what I would want to say to the player.
I don't know what else to like. I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know I don't know what you're thinking there. I really I don't.
You think they're thinking with the run scores, the game's over.
No, I get that, but it's like it's stupid. It's so stupid.
It is. That's why they are a big dummy. That's why they are a big dummy. All right. So you know who right now feel like big dummies? I gotta say it. The Philadelphia Eagles. They feel like big dummies. Um, they've lost 2 games since the last. No, not since the last time we were on, but they've lost 2 games since it within the same week. Doesn't happen often to the Philadelphia Eagles, but he lost 2 games within the same week. They lost to the Denver Broncos 2 Sundays ago, and then lost to the New York Giants last Sunday.
Last Thursday.
Last Thursday, excuse me. Thank you. Last Thursday. Um,
And it's you know, me being here in Baltimore, you know, there's a lot of shared losing, especially because Lamar Jackson's been out for the last couple of weeks with a hamstring injury. Um, I did the air quotes because I think some fans are kind of like fed up with you know, the situation here in Baltimore.
all right. I don't want to get it too much into into that situation because I don't know. But you're right there with it. You feel like they're fed up with Lamar because he hasn't been able to like get over that hump.
Well, I think it's more the real outcries with the coach with Harbaugh. I think they're really tired of him, and you know he's been here for almost as long as Andy Reid was in his first stint with the Eagles. However, this year I think you got to give him a mulligan because you had injured your quarterback is injured. Three of your best defensive players are injured. One has a career threatening neck injury. He may never come back. So I don't know if you can count this as a year against the work that he's done. If everybody was healthy and you have this issue, then yeah, you know that's philosophical. That's like what happened with Andy Reid the last couple of years with the Eagles. It wasn't because of injuries; it was just philosophy wasn't working. But I don't know if this is enough to get him fired. But people are tired of Harbaugh
Mm.
and the
It,
coaching staff.
they've become fatigued. They've
Yeah,
become fatigued. Yeah, I mean, I get it. You compared it to the Andy Reid situation here in Philadelphia, and I get it. It was time for Andy. It was time. Um, I wonder what Andy would do with this team, though. Like, I wonder what how successful he would be with this current team, this current Eagles team. I think he would be successful. I mean, yeah.
I think if he had the team with Vic Jackson, Deshaun Jackson, and Shady,
Shady.
I, I think I think that would have been.
He didn't. He did have it.
Well, he did, but it was like it was the downturn of the defense. I think that's when Brian Dawkins was like on his way out, and Trotter was on his way out, and Hugh Douglas. So it was like the defense was getting ready to turn. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, because when Chip Kelly came, you know, he pretty much turned it around for like 12 games and then crap the bed. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I
I
think he
was
would
just
have
thinking
been.
about Chip's first season. Like Chip's first season was that was the year that the Eagles went down to Washington and that first play of the game and all that was Chip's first year, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Chip's first year was interesting. He got rid of Shady for Kiko Alonso. He got rid of Deshaun Jackson. He didn't even trade Deshaun. He just cut Deshaun, right?
Cut him outright.
Um, kept Michael Vick, surprisingly.
Well, but he traded for Brad. Remember, he got shot. Bradford, Sam Bradford,
At Bradford, yeah. Yeah.
and got
Um,
and got rid of. No, he had Nick Foles, and I think wound up trading him or cutting him or letting him go. I forget.
and he won the national championship as offensive coordinator with Ohio State last year. Um, the guy knows offense. He don't know team, but he know offense. Let's put it like that.
Sure, he's it's not helping him. In where's he off? Where's he at now?
I think he's in Vegas now.
Yeah, he's doing a hell of a job there, isn't he?
Well, Vegas ain't got nothing. They got nothing. Nothing. Vegas is bogus.
Hmm.
Geno Smith's the starting quarterback. No knock on Geno Smith, but if he's your starting quarterback, well, he's been around the league. He's a journeyman.
Well, he was successful in Seattle for two or 3 years. He actually had some success.
He did, but why isn't he still there? Because he's a journeyman. Oakland's going to bring, or excuse me, Vegas is going to bring in a quarterback, a young quarterback. They'll draft one. Let Geno tutor him for a season or a half a season or a season and a half, and he'll be on to the next his next team in his journey. I had high hopes for Geno Smith coming out of college. I think he was at West Virginia, I believe. I think he was at West Virginia. I had some high hopes for him. Man. I might be wrong about that West Virginia thing, but he was somewhere. Anyway, Eagles losing to the Giants. We got off on the whole tangent there. Eagles losing to the Giants on Thursday. Now we already talked about last Sunday, so we ain't even got to get into that. But last Thursday was the day after we were on air, and I, I can't even point to one thing. You got to point your whole hand at stuff. This team looks bad, Miguel.
Yeah.
They couldn't find any rhythm. Guys aren't getting open. Guys aren't getting hit when they do get open. Can't run the ball. And I'm not. I don't want to blame it on it because it's not the defining factor of their problems right now. But let's not forget we're talking about a 4-2 team. The offensive line is not holding up like we're used to seeing. It's just really not. And I mean, we're kind of spoiled.
Hmm.
We've seen offensive line dominance for a good 6-7 years, and now we're starting to see what it looks like when you don't have a dominant offensive line. We forgot. We forgot what that was like. And sometimes Jaden has all the time in the world to get rid of the ball, and people don't get open. Sometimes Jalen's running for his life. Saquon can't. They can't open a hole for Saquon to save their life. It's crazy. It's crazy, Miguel. I mean, do you notice that? Am I crazy?
No, I know. Was it week one? No, I think it was the Rams game when Landon Dickerson hurt his back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then losing. Not, I've I think we're starting to see that Mekhi Becton was more important to the offensive line than one wants to admit.
Yeah.
Not re-signing him, which was kind of weird because I thought like you could get him on the cheap. You know what I mean? Because he had, he didn't have much success with the Jets, and they brought him over here, and then he wound up, doing very
He got,
well.
he got paid though, didn't he?
Yeah, he got paid wherever he went. Was it the Chargers? Wherever he
Yeah, I
got
think it was
paid, wherever he
true.
went. Um, but I'm like, that's money you could have got. You could have gave him. So I think they're probably gonna again try to get another guard slash center in the draft. But I think they missed the boat. I think they definitely missed the boat on him.
Yeah, I mean, I think they. It feels like they or just by things that were being said, he was a 1 year type of situation anyway. Like they knew that if he does well, people knew halfway through the year that Mekhi Becton wasn't going to be on the team this year. Um, because of how well he was doing and he was going to get paid. The Eagles got a lot of guys they're going to have to pay very soon. Very soon. And
Yeah,
they took care of Saquon, they took care of AJ, they took care of Jalen. But on the other side, you're gonna have to take care of DeJean. You're gonna have to take care of Quinyon. You're gonna have to take care of Jalen Carter. It started looking like at the very beginning of the year, and it could still turn out to be this way. You might have to take care of Jordan Davis too.
as well.
Zach
You
Bond, I
should.
think, got taken care of. I think he got his money.
Mm-hmm.
But if Jahad Campbell if he is as good as advertised so far, he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be getting paid too. So there's gonna be a lot of decisions to be made with this team, especially the defense. Especially the defense. It's going to be interesting. Um, you put this in here. You put this as part of the show. I got to give you credit. Cowboys lost to the Panthers the other day. I think were they in Ireland? No, they were in. I don't know where they were. They were.
Did
I
you
think
say Ireland?
yeah, one of the games were in Ireland this year.
Yeah, but you said the Cowboys. Cowboys were in North Carolina.
That game was in Carolina.
It was in
I thought
Charlotte.
it was
Yes.
an overseas game. I thought that game was on early in the morning. I guess that was okay.
No. It
Don't
was
mind me.
right.
I was doing so much running around this weekend. Don't mind me. I know there was a overseas game, but that
I
was the
mean,
Vikings. That was the Vikings game, wasn't it?
they look like a team from Ireland, but
Yeah, I messed that up, huh? But they lost. They lost to Carolina, and Carolina is not, expect to be that good of a team for the most part. Neither are Dallas Cowboys. But
yeah,
you didn't expect to see the Cowboys lose to this team. However,
right.
the Dallas Cowboys defense is putrid at best. You know how I know because the Eagles couldn't score on them in the second half, and that's what they do. They don't score on bad defenses, so it fell right in line. Um, the only bright spot on that team is Dak. It seems like,
Mm-hmm.
and they lost to Bright. What's his name? Uh,
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. Now you put this in the notes, so I'm assuming that you want to say some things about it.
So it's the back and forth that's going on that I see in the argument that I have with a Cowboys fan, who's affectionately known as La Cucaracha. Um, for those that don't know, because Cowboys fans only come out, when their team is good or when the light is, whatever. But Cowboys fans are cockroaches, despicable, horrible, filthy cockroaches. Um, but it kind of raised the argument that my Cowboys fan cohort argues that Dak Prescott is a 10 times better quarterback than Jalen Hurts and all this stuff. And I was having a conversation with somebody about this, and it seems like Jalen Hurts has a pattern where he's very streaky in either direction. They're just like towards the end of last year, we saw it. Like he was very good down the stretch. No interceptions and threw touchdowns, and then we saw him just light it up in the Super Bowl. But then he goes through these stretches where he just kind of he hits that lull. You can even take it back to college because you remember he started with did he start off with Alabama or Oklahoma? I always forget.
Alabama.
Alabama, right?
Mhm.
Took him to the championship game, then got benched, and then wound up going to Oklahoma, winning a championship there. So it's like he goes through these bumps and dips. And I think at the NFL level, it got him a Super Bowl. It got him to one Super Bowl. I mean, it got him to two Super Bowls, and he won one. And I think this is the year where we're kind of seeing the down streak because it just seems like the overthrow, for instance, to Devontae. That was like, how do you miss that throw? You know what I mean? Sometimes he holds the ball too long. Sometimes he throws into triple coverage, and it's like he goes through those patterns. Whereas With Dak, he reminds me of like a tall Mark Sanchez before he wanted to fight trash people at 2 in the morning. He's good between the 20s. You know what I mean? He'll put up the numbers. He'll give you like the 300, 4 or 5 touchdowns, but he always is good for that one bonehead play at the end of the game. You know what I mean? But like his numbers, make him look like he's the best quarterback in football. But we all know he's not very clutch. Whereas Jalen, not necessarily the greatest numbers, but he tends to be more clutch because what's his mo? Keep the main thing the main thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like he wins, but he doesn't win pretty, and But I think part of it is the Philly media. Like I think AJ, like the whole situation with AJ Brown. I think he's playing with the media because even when he's saying the stuff that he says, you see that little smirk on his face. Like I really really think he's playing with the media. I don't think there's anything to the whole locker room thing. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, listen. If he's playing with the media, stop playing with the media and play some football because y'all done lost 2 straight games. You ain't got time to play with the media right now. Play some football. Jalen, get him the ball. Get him the ball. Um, Eagles had somebody retire a couple days ago.
Mhm.
Unexpected. I don't know if it was unexpected in house, but it definitely was unexpected out of the house.
Right.
And with, if you haven't heard, defensive lineman with defensive end Zadarius Smith announced his retirement. Played 11 years in the NFL. This was his first season with the Eagles. He signed in the offseason. Like I said, has the best numbers on the defensive line this year. And now he's gone. Now he's just retired. What do they do? What do they do now? Like the defensive line hasn't been, they haven't really been getting that much pressure on quarterbacks lately.
And Jalen Carter now is hurt,
He was out
and
last
Nolan Smith is going to be out for a few weeks. Yeah, yeah. When you look back, like on the championship years, you gotta have some luck. You gotta have. I mean, even when we won our first Super Bowl, we still had like debilitating injuries, but what is it? Next man up. And I don't think that this particular Eagles team has that. I don't think their depth at the corner position, the depth on the defensive line, I think they're definitely lacking in depth, and I think that's what's catching up to them right now.
Yeah, it could be it. It could be it. I mean, if you don't have the depth, then
Because I mean, even last year, like all right, like when Darius Slay would always be injured for like a quarter or two, you moved in DeJean, and then you had CJGJ. You know what I mean? Like you can flip them. There was players you can maneuver into multiple positions. Jordan Davis was on a rotation at that point with the other defensive lineman that left. So it's like there was like this constant. You don't have that this year,
do you find
and
it
I think
interesting that they had no interest in CJGJ?
say that again.
Do you find it interesting that they had no interest in CJ Gardner Johnson?
Not surprised at all. When you pop off in social media and you spotlight cracks in the locker room, like when he spouted some crap about him and Darius Slay, and then he talked big stuff about the Eagles organization not wanting. I forget what he said. Something along the lines of like they don't want like real players; they want robots or something to that effect. It's like you can't. There's only so many times you can do that before you're completely ostracized or you completely, you know what I mean.
Sure would like to know what got him cut from Houston.
Well, his injury. Well, there was an incident where he was. At least that's what was reported. Was that he often had spats with his defensive back coaches, didn't agree with the philosophies. He was talking about other players, either not stepping up or not being as good as they say they are or think they are. And that rubs people the wrong way. And, that reputation precedes you. And I would have said, oh, well, that's bullcrap. That's just the media. But he did it. He did that very thing just weeks after the Super Bowl. It's like, I don't understand people. Like, when you win, it's like people are insufferable. It's like they just find a way to complain even when things are good. It's like, why? I don't get it.
Um,
I don't get it.
I get if he didn't agree with the philosophy in Houston, he might have been on to something because they ain't working in Houston.
Time will tell. You know, he got cut mid-season, so who's to say that they don't go on a run and then all of a sudden he looks like a fool?
They could, and it could happen like that. It could happen like that, and maybe he was the reason the scheme didn't work. We'll find out, like you said. Hit us up if you got a question, comment, whatever the case may be. You can hit us up at 669-275-0548. Of course, you can hit the text line at 606, 484 606 6061. Or you can always leave your comment in the chat and we'll get that posted for you as well. Shout out to everybody that's checking us out right now. You're watching the Check Swing podcast with myself and, of course, my man, Coach Santa, who's down in
Baltimore, having big fun.
We're getting ready to talk a little bit of Phillies and the Phillies.
I know.
The way they went out hurt from a coach's mind. The way they went out really hurt. But they went out to a team that a very good team. Now, it's not like it was the Mets from last year or the Diamondbacks a couple years ago. They went out against a very good team, but they still had championship aspirations. They still were a championship level team, and there were some expectations. That being said, they failed again. They did what they've done for the last 4 years. They get to the big moment and they can't hit the ball. They made some defensive that the defense is something that they're not. That's something that was kind of new in the playoffs this year. Outside of Trey Turner booting balls all year. But I mean, we talk about it on the show all the time. I would always say, holla at me in August and September, whatever it is. We wanted to see them do it in the playoffs. A lot of people wanted to see them do it in the playoffs. A lot of people saw them not do it in the playoffs for the second, third straight year. Miguel, give me your thoughts on it because I have another thought on it, but I want you to have an opportunity to speak your mind on the Phillies.
Tale of two teams, man. It's like when they're good, like what we saw, the one win that they did have in LA. When they're good, they're patient. They're driving the ball. They're not swinging outside of themselves. And then you see the team that we saw in all the games that they lost. I don't get the hitting strategy sometimes. And it's one thing when it's one or two players, but it's literally like the top six. They all do the same thing. They're all either patient or they're all not. Never seen it before. But I think this was the year because they've been together for what 5 or 6 years now. This is comparable to I read a story about the Phillies in the 70s where it was Mike Schmidt, it was Larry Boa, it was Greg Luzinski. They were all brought up in the Phillies system, and 76, 77, 78, they won a National League East, even won 101 games back-to-back years, but they lost to the Reds and the Dodgers twice, and they lost almost in more depressing fashion. There was a game famously called Black Friday. Look it up on YouTube, where they were up by like 3. They were one strike away from taking a 2-games-to-nothing lead, and a bunt, a throwing error, a pickoff error, and they wound up losing the game. And it was so depressing. But this game, what was it, game 4, will go down in history as one of the biggest blunders. But yeah, I just I think it's time that you make some changes. It's like my beef with Aaron Nola. We know what he is. We know what he always has been in the playoffs after September. And I think we're starting to see what Castellanos, Harper, although Harper has shown signs, last year in the playoffs he was fine. There was everybody else that shut down, but this year he was included in the shutdown. So we know what Schwarber is in the playoffs. You know what I mean? So I think, our pitching actually was the bright spot. Luzardo,
Our starters.
our starters, yeah, Luzardo, Sanchez, Ranger. I don't have any issues with our pitching. Even the bullpen was good. It's our hitters. We didn't hit with runners in scoring position. We didn't, we couldn't continue rallies. It's just frustrating.
Yeah, it was frustrating. And I didn't want to put this in the atmosphere prior to the playoff starting. But I had gotten a thought when the playoffs started about how the Phillies played their season, and how they're currently constructed. And I thought there's no way this team is winning the World Series. And what I'm talking about is they didn't have 9, or let's say 8, because 9 includes the pitcher. They didn't have 8 consistent starters. You had JT behind the plate. You had Bryce at first base. For the most part, you had Bohm at third if he wasn't hurt. Bryce at first if he wasn't hurt. Your platoon in second base most of the year. Trey and as short. And by the end of the year, you were damn near platooning the whole outfield.
Mm-hmm.
You're not strong enough to win the World Series like that, because the way I see it, you're basically going to battle with role players rather than your strongest starters. You're going Weston Wilson, Otto Kemp. These guys got starts in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
These guys were call-ups. Like, these guys didn't start the season on the roster; they were call-ups. And they're getting playoff starts. How do you win that world? How do you win a World Series like that? I'm with you, Miguel. Changes have to be made. What changes are you making? I mean, Topper's back, not to jump notes in the show, but Topper's back.
I don't have
So
a
that's
problem with
Nick Castellano. Bah, I can't even say his name.
Nick.
You know what I'm talking about, the right fielder. That just tells me Nick is not back. More than likely.
Yeah, I was a Nick Castellanos fan for the longest, but this season has definitely turned me off. And I said it a million times. Once you start talking about the fan base, you're done. Because he's one of those, he's not one of those players that can talk about the fans and then shut them up like a David Justice did, to win a World Series in the 90s. But it's like he started to continue to suck. You know what I mean? He went down a road of suckiness. Um, so I think it's time that he goes. He's not a. I just don't think he's built for the long haul of a big city team. You know.
Mm,
Um,
maybe he may not be. Go ahead. I'm just
yeah.
thinking.
You know how I feel. I've been saying this for decades about Aaron Nola. Um, and I think if you can put him and Nicholas in a package, somebody's gonna bite because somebody's gonna want have that. You got a 3 starter, a 4 starter, and a guy that can play the outfield. Used to play the infield, but can play the outfield, and you know they can get something of value in return. I will say I want Harrison Bader back. Um, because he had great at bats. He plays good defense. Was clutch, and he was one of the factors too. I think of the reason why they couldn't advance in the playoffs. Because remember, with him being hurt,
Yeah.
now you have to play your Max Kepler. You have to play your Otto Kemp. Um, but losing Bader, I think, is one of the many reasons why we lost. But it definitely didn't help. But I want him back.
Max Kepler, I felt like was playing very well going into the playoffs. I
He
feel like
was. He
he was
was.
somebody that really, I think that bye week affected him. Somebody, a player like him, right?
Mhm.
Because he was in a groove. He was on a roll. He's in a groove, and then the bye week comes and that changes everything. Um, yeah, Bader being hurt that was a huge factor. Huge factor. Um, here we go. Real quick, I catch up on some of the comments. Um, Monroe says QB ranking. Who are your top 5 in the league today? And he also says I'm your loyal fan in Arizona, but I'm also your big dummies. But I'm also a big asking about football when you're talking baseball.
You big dummy.
I'll give one to you.
Well,
But
shout out to Monroe.
we'll go back and talk like top 5 quarterback. We can go back to that in a little bit, but yeah, we're going to finish up the baseball. But
It's not Dak Prescott. He's not on that list. But go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, we know you would never have a cowboy on your list. We know.
Absolutely not.
Um,
Cucarachas.
but yeah, not having Bader definitely hurt. Because he was another one that was playing extremely well going into the playoffs. His first game in the playoffs, he was still playing well. He kept staying consistent. Not having Alvarado
I keep
definitely
forgetting
hurt
about him.
the Phillies. However, they knew for a long time they were not going to have him, so they had plenty of time to try to fill that void. Okay,
Mhm.
um, so like people that want to blame Alvarado, I mean, go ahead and have fun, but they knew plenty of time that they were going to have to replace that arm. Um, the 1, 2, 3 hitters, 1, 2, 3 hitters didn't really show up. Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber. They didn't really show up. I mean, the one home run Schwarber did hit that thing was a whoo.
Mhm.
That was a blast off.
And
But that
even
was
the
it.
second, because we forget he hit a second home run too
He did. You're right. He did hit a second home run. Forgot
off
about that.
of
You're absolutely right.
off of their Hall of Fame lefty, that goofy guy
Kershaw
Kershaw. Yeah.
off of Kershaw, which Kershaw
So,
they just kind of left Kershaw out there, let him hang out. They left him out there to dry. Am I using that right? I don't know why
yeah,
I'm
hung him out to hung him out to dry. Yeah, that's
hung
the
him out
term.
to dry. There you go. They hung him out to dry out there. They go at it, have some fun, get beat up. Um, but those defensive plays that they could have really That ball is thrown on the correct side of the plate. That out base running mistakes. So many factors, man. So many factors. They really, I mean, and I don't want to take anything away from the Dodgers. And I really hate when people say this, like you didn't beat us, we beat ourselves. But the Phillies really beat themselves. I mean, Dodgers pitching. It was pitching. Every game was a pitcher's duel,
Mm-hmm.
except for the one the Phillies won.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, the Phillies really beat themselves.
Which this was the real shock to me about the approach. The one game they won, their plan was we're going to be patient with this pitcher so we can get to their bullpen. The Dodgers don't have a bullpen. They don't even have a closer.
Right.
Everybody knew that going in. That's why like the Dodgers are a beatable team. If you can get to their bullpen, they're done. But then it's like they went away from that formula all the other games. And
Right.
even in game one, when they got up 3-0, they were patient. And then the rest of the game, they were just like jumping on, everything. And it's like, why can't you get this right? Why is this so difficult? Don't get it.
I like the strategy that the Dodgers used to kind of avoid using a lot of their bullpen.
Yeah, the
Uh,
split starters, yeah.
we split starters.
And it worked for the Phillies when we started Nola for 2-3 innings and then brought in Ranger. That worked.
Yeah, Nola was 2 innings, and Ranger gave up that El Kabong home run on his first pitch of his playoffs this year. But then he shut him down every pitch after that.
Right.
That was a shot though.
It was.
Teoscar's nasty, and the Phillies could have signed Teoscar Hernandez, but they didn't go after him, or maybe they did. I don't know, but they didn't sign him. That's what we do know. And
So
another a right hand bat we could have had.
so speaking of signing, if you want to post the thing on the screen, um, so these are some of the key free agents for the Phillies this year, and these are estimates of what they could get on the market in free agency. Um, for me, the popular thing so far is people want to keep Ranger and JT, and they're kind of split between Schwarber and Bader, and everybody else can go. You know,
Harrison Bader, 2 years, 20 million. That's it. Really?
well, so here's the thing: Harrison Bader was a role player in Minnesota, kind of
Right.
like what he was here. I mean, he did play he played more games down the stretch run because he was just coming in clutch. You know what I mean? And actually, him and Kepler were both in Minnesota the last couple of years, so
Right.
they would rotate with each other. So you had your right-handed bat, left-handed bat, blah blah blah. So I think he might command more than that, especially if the Phillies go after him. But I think they should sign him now. Um, just because I mean what the value that he brings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He, he's
But
he's
but
he
but let me throw this at you. He bought a lot of value to the Phillies towards the end of last season. But are we getting caught up in the moment? Like, is that consistently him? Is that the player that he is? We have to think about that. Is that the player he is? And,
so
and,
far.
and, and you know what? And I know the comparison is completely different, but it makes me think of the Sixers not signing Jimmy Butler.
Hmm.
Like, you knew who Jimmy was, but you decided to go in a different direction. You
Mhm.
don't know who Harrison, like you. I don't know how if they feel like they know who Harrison is, but I feel like the fans do not. Um, because when he first came out, I mean, he was okay. He played well. Don't get me wrong, but he
Mhm.
really got it rolling towards the end of the season. So is that the Harrison Bader that somebody's going to get for the next 2 years for 20 million?
Uh, uh,
Or they gonna
I saw him play in 2 games physically, and the vibe that you feel from the crowd, the vibe that you see from the dugout. Um, I think he went like 2 for 4 in the game that I saw, hit a home run, Apple Taco, and he's running out to center for getting a standing ovation, and it's like, and I get it, the emotion of it, but it's like he was going against really good pitching, so eh, eh, you know, I based on that, I think the vibe is there. I think there's potential there.
well,
But you gotta try it. You know what I mean?
let me look at this list. Um, Based on what we've seen from Jordan Romano, he can go. David Robertson, he can go. He's 40.
Hmm.
Not bringing him back for a whole season.
It's funny.
Kepler, go ahead. What'd you say?
No, Jordan Romano looks 40, but yeah.
Kepler, I would you got the youngins you can bring up. Kepler can roll.
Hmm.
Bader, of course, the top four, we're going up the list. So, of course, the top four you want to get. Bader, I want back. JT, I think we need back.
Yeah.
Schwarber, Schwarber, you have to. I think you have to make an attempt. You have to make an attempt at Schwarber. I don't think you like. You have to. You have to give a fair offer to Schwarber, and you might get outbid, but you at least have to make the attempt. I don't think. I don't. I think it's a bad look if you just let him walk away. You got to make an attempt.
Hmm.
And Ranger, of course, if what you said, you trade Nola, package him with Castellanos. I don't know. You feel like somebody will take it. I don't. I guess somebody will take it. Um, I wouldn't take it, but but somebody would take that. Uh, if if you're able to do that, yeah, you bring back that lefty Suarez. That gives you two lefties, Suarez and
3.
uh Christian what's his name?
You got
Sanchez.
you got Luzardo, Sanchez, and then you would have Suarez, so you'd have 3 lefties.
Lazard Lazardo's a lefty too.
Yeah. Hmm.
Ooh, I didn't realize too. I thought he was a righty. Um but at the same time you still really don't know about Wheeler.
Yeah.
You don't know about Wheeler yet. So it's gonna be an interesting offseason for the Phillies. Let's just put it like that. But Romano, he showed me nothing. David Robertson, thank you for your service, coming back and doing what you did. You played as well as you could. Um, no hard feelings here. But enjoy retirement. Um, Max Kepler, thank you for your service as well. Thank you for your time. I think you could be as an everyday player. I think you could be a decent player. Obviously, you're an MLB player, so you're good. But I think if you got a chance to play every day, I think you could be a decent player. But I don't think you'll get a chance to play every day in Philadelphia. Thank you for your time. Those top four, you got to find a way, at least make an offer. But you also got to bring up Painter. You also got to bring up Crawford.
Hmm.
I would consider bringing up Miller.
Hmm.
I would do that because part of me wants Bryce back in the outfield. There's a piece of me that wants Bryce back in the outfield. Maybe you can put Bohm at first base. Maybe you can find another first baseman. Maybe Reese Hoskins is interested in coming back. Who knows? Get Bryce off first base. Put him back in the outfield. Make some space. Get somebody in there that can hit. Move Bohm, whatever the case may be. Move Trey over to second base and get a shortstop in here. Maybe put Stott over there, but Stott's not an everyday player. So you gotta You gotta figure that out too. That's all I'm gonna say about that. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I almost hit the wrong button there. Um, you got anything else you want to add to that?
Nope.
All right. Well, with that being said, we are going to take a real short, quick break for a quick message. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about the Sixers. Don't go anywhere because we're not going to be going that long. I promise you that. Keep it locked right here, y'all.
New from South Street Toys, it's postseason panic. The manager who finds a way to lose every October.
Cross out the lineup and bat your best hitter ninth.
Mash the bullpen blunder button and call the wrong arm from the pen.
Oh no!
Walk off walk.
And we are back. We are back here on the Check Swing Podcast. It's time to talk a little bit of Sixers. Thank you for that message. The Sixers, the season's getting ready to get started, and you know, Miguel, you know I'm a big Sixers guy. You know this, big Sixers guy. I'm a big NBA guy. I love basketball. Um, of course, like and it's the NBA plays at a time of the year where you don't even want to be outside. The baseball happens when you want to be outside. Basketball happens when you want to be inside. So ain't nothing else to watch but basketball. Anyway, the Sixers are coming back this year. Preseason has started. They be getting their heads hit in preseason. But this year is a special season. And Miguel, you put this together, so you know I know I'm going to give you the opportunity to talk about it first.
So this year marks I believe, the 25th anniversary of the 01 Sixers run.
2000, 2001 team.
2001 team. When they wore what I think was the best jerseys in their franchise history, personally, especially the black ones. They're bringing those back as yet another jersey, and me and Justin were talking before the show about like all the jerseys from all four teams, and it seems like the Sixers go through like a jersey change every like 3 or 4 years. But yeah, they're bringing back the black jerseys for specific games, and also a return of one of their greatest mascots. Hip hop is making his return. For those that don't remember, he was the Bugs Bunny on steroids, electrolytes, and growth hormone. So he's going to be coming back on nights that the Sixers commemorate the 01 team, the 2001 and 01 team, along with the new mascot, Franklin, which I think is a stupid name for a mascot, but I get it. Ben Franklin, blah, blah, blah.
Not to get into a mascot's name, but it feels a little peanut. It feels peanutsy to me.
And I thought that's what was going to happen with the Flyers mascot, Gritty.
Yeah.
And the way that he took off so quickly, it's like, oh my God, it's like, you know, but Franklin to me never caught on, but they keep, you know.
Yeah, Franklin never caught on.
I don't even know what he looks like.
He's a blue dog.
A blue dog? A blue dog signifying that makes no sense.
He's a blue dog that wears a white uniform. But yeah, Franklin is not very popular here in the city. Of course, the most popular here, of course, is the Fanatic, and I feel like Gritty is probably taking over the spot from Swoop. Swoop's probably the third most popular mascot here in Philadelphia now, behind the Fanatic and Gritty, and then you have Franklin, and then probably the Union, whatever their snake's name is.
Snake? Why? What? I don't understand these connections.
The snake is I don't know
I
this.
don't.
I think it's the same snake with the Sixers. That the
I don't.
Sixers
I don't. I don't. I don't need to know.
could be the don't tread on me. Who knows? Could be the don't. But I did look it up one time, but I didn't commit it to memory. So I did look it up
Got
before. It has something to do with the colonies, though. I believe. I believe.
So
I believe.
stupid.
I don't know.
I believe. I believe. I believe. I believe.
But yeah, that's pretty dope. That hip hop will be back. Hip hop was hip hop came after Big Shot, which Big Shot was just like a big blue fat dude. Like, I don't know what Big Shot was for real. Big Shot was just like a fat dude.
Like some things are just like who
Like the
was this?
fanatic and Gritty. Like what the hell are they? Well, the fanatic is like an animal from the Galapagos.
Galapagos Islands. That's legit.
Yeah, the Galapagos Islands are legit. Yeah. But what in the Sam Hill is Gritty?
He's an
Swoop is
overweight.
evil. Franklin's a dog. Um, Hip hop was a rabbit.
He was a
Big Shot
rapping
Gritty is a
steroid
fanatic.
rabbit.
Man, what are they? What is
He
going
was
on?
he was a rabid jacked rabbit.
Yo, correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be wrong. But didn't Big Shot wasn't he like balding too? Like didn't he have like red hair, but it was like he
Yeah,
had like pattern baldness or something like that? Didn't he have like a George
yes.
Jefferson cut or something like that? You gotta look that up for me.
Yeah, he had a high hairline. He actually, if you look at it from certain angles, he looked like the front of a septibus.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah, I want to get a
Put it up for
good.
all to see. Oh, we got. I'm sorry with the chat. Let me see. Monroe said, "Basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court, like Dr. J.M. Moses Malone, Curtis Blow on the microphone." I love that song. I love that song. Basketball is my favorite sport.
All
I
right, I
love
found a
it.
picture.
Goose said,
Klepto.
"Gritty is left with number decorations." I can see
Yes.
that. The streamers and whatnot, they just kind
Hmm.
of got wound up in the cobwebs and formed Gritty.
Yeah. So here's here's the big shot. It looks like he's wearing a onesie.
So yeah, there's Big Shot. Yeah, it does look like he's wearing a onesie. He's definitely rocking the he's definitely rocking some punk panties there.
Here's the male pattern baldness.
Yep.
He
Yep.
actually looks like the guy that was spraying and trying to kill those wasps up beneath up my office every summer. He literally he's wearing the same glasses. All he's missing is the checker flag shorts that were knee above the knee, and he had a tank top that had a girl on it, and it said "Come on."
So what Miguel is referring to is the fact that he used to have a wasp's nest above his office window every year. And that what he just explained is how the guy would be dressed every year to kill the wasp's nest.
And he would spray this concoction and then bolt, and then I wouldn't see him again for 11 months.
And it worked. It would work.
For 10 months,
Glad nobody got stung.
no.
I guess they were mad because why else would he be bolting? I know they wasn't happy. Um,
Big shot. He looks depressing. I'm sorry. It's just
well, probably not if it were the '80s, but we're in the 2020s now. Is that what
gosh.
it's called? The 2020s? I don't know. You have some videos, some more videos for us. You have some videos that'll make them say,
Yep. One of them is queued in the thing right there. So if you want to take a look, this one is it's funny because the caption reads should have known just by his outfit.
"Should have known just by his outfit." Let's see.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And
I rock that pebble, jumping sheet, hear this beat, come like.
Yeah, you should have known from his outfit. Yeah, you don't rush that dude.
Mm-hmm.
You don't rush that dude. That was quick too.
Uh-huh. I like the way he walked away, like, next.
Yeah, that is how he walked away.
So this next one is the caption for this is the ref woke her back up just for her to get knocked out cold again.
All right, which one is it?
Oh, let me remove. All right, it's that one.
Bien aussi. Oh là là là, le crochet gauche. Oh, il est à droite encore. Oh, là. Et le bras, regardez le bras gauche bloqué, c'est d'accord. Et l'arbitre, il lui enlève la. Il est extraordinaire, l'arbitre. Non, mais j'ai jamais. C'est débat, c'est lui qui la remet. Oh, la droite. Oh, c'est sûr.
Ah, mais ça, c'était sûr.
Attends, c'est débat.
Comment
Oh là là. Moi, l'arbitre devrait arrêter plus tôt. Oui, mais dans ce contexte-là, il fait tout pour protéger, à tort d'ailleurs.
I don't know what they were saying, but they I wonder how old that fight was.
I don't know, but
because I feel like the women we see fight these days fight a lot better than what we just witnessed. Like I feel like they're a lot more skilled than what we just witnessed just now.
I mean, could very well be. All right, last damn of the day. The quote for this one is immediately started emoting after winning by knockout in just 3 seconds.
All right, that's an interesting one.
Take a look at his stance, though.
All right. Oh! Oh my God! I couldn't even say.
Damn! That was quick.
3 seconds.
I don't know how long you trained for that fight, but you trained however long you trained for that fight to get beat that fast.
3 seconds. You know what's when I saw that, it got me into this whole Mike Tyson thing. So I started watching all Mike Tyson's knockouts.
Oh yeah, from like 30 years ago.
Yeah, and I was like, "Damn, that was only a minute and 20 seconds. That was only 90 seconds. Crazy."
Yeah, Mike was a scary dude, man. Mike was a scary dude. The world witnessed Mike Tyson get beat by Jake Paul.
I hate to say that there's other greater tragedies in the world, but
I don't know what was more of an upset, seeing Mike lose to Buster Douglas or Mike lose to Jake Paul. Don't know. Anyway, Miguel's stumping me today. For those that don't know, Miguel always puts together he finds a random player that played for a team in Philadelphia at some point of their career, and he gives me some accolades and jersey numbers, and I'm supposed to figure out who the hell he's talking about. Are these in order?
yes.
2-time Pro Bowler. Is that Cowboys, Vikings, Eagles, Giants? Who's that then?
Cowboys again.
Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker only went to 2 Pro Bowls?
Yeah, that's what I was surprised at that too. Because I forget when he after he left Dallas and came to Philadelphia, he was used as a kick returner. and sparingly as a halfback. So yeah,
No, he left. I thought he
but
left. I
he
thought he
was
left
he was.
Philly
That's right. He was in Dallas. No,
first. He was in Dallas first, and they traded
right,
him.
and they did that major trade. Right.
Yeah. Damn, he only went to 2 Pro Bowls. That's amazing.
Hmm.
That is amazing. And he didn't lift weights.
I know he did ballet.
Ballet, calisthenics.
Mm.
I forgot what the other thing, but yeah. Wow, he only been to 2 Pro Bowls. That that almost threw me because as soon as I saw the number, I was like Herschel Walker. But then it was like 2 Pro Bowls. I'm like, nah, there's no way Herschel Walker only went to 2 Pro Bowls.
Hmm.
Wow.
It's
That
like,
Jake Paul was a money grab, not a real fight. That's true.
yeah.
That's true. But Monroe, I'll put this out there, and I don't know if you're watching. I don't know if it was last week, a couple weeks ago. I don't think Mike Tyson's going to beat Floyd Mayweather.
Mm.
I don't. I don't think he's going to beat Floyd. Um, I think. Oh, isometrics. Thank you, Goose. Isometrics. That's what it was. Isometrics. Um, I've said it on this show before. I think the baddest man on the planet is no longer the baddest man on the planet at his current age when it comes to stepping into the ring and fighting people with fighting people with skill, like he used to do back in the day. Now he fought Roy Jones back in, I think it was 2020, 2021 during the pandemic. And honestly, that looked like 2 old men fighting. People were hyped about it. And excited to see it. I was not one of them because I know that you can't turn back the clock. The clock doesn't turn back. So I knew the Mike Tyson that we saw 20 years ago before that fight. I knew that the last time we saw Mike Tyson, he was losing. And don't get me wrong, Mike's one of my favorite fighters. But the last time we saw him, he was losing. And then he comes back 20 years later, and are we supposed to think he's still the baddest man on the planet? He wasn't when his career ended 20 years ago. Floyd been in the ring more recently with more recently with fights that have counted for something. And he's younger, he's quicker. Okay. If you saw Mike fight against Jake Paul, if you saw Mike fight against Roy Jones, and you don't think Floyd is quicker than Mike, maybe we're just watching different fights. But with that being said, I think we're gonna get up out of here. I didn't even get to play the Jeopardy music. I was gonna play the Jeopardy music when it was gonna take me long to figure out the thing, but it did throw me off. That was almost tricky. It did throw me off with the 2 Pro Bowls because Herschel Walker should have been in all the Pro Bowls for real. Should have been in all of them, to be honest. Well, with that being said, we're gonna get out of here. We appreciate y'all hanging with us here on the Check Swing Podcast with myself. And of course, the brains and brawn of the situation, my man, Coach Santa, who's down in
Baltimore, having big fun.
We will check back with you. Hopefully, the Eagles win this weekend, and we can have something good to talk about. But win or lose, let me think of my schedule. Win or lose, I think we'll be back here next week. Win or lose, I think we'll be back here next week to have a reaction, and we want you guys to react too. With that being said, we're gonna get up out of here. We appreciate you hanging with us on the Check Swing Podcast. We'll talk to y'all next week.
Until we meet again.